Hello, everybody, and welcome into the NJCAA Network. I'm Zach McKinstry, and we continue this hectic march of selection shows with NJCAA Division II women's basketball. Very excited to unveil the 20 teams playing in Joplin, Missouri at the Leggett and Platt Athletic Center from March 17th to the 22nd. All of those games on the NJCAA Network. 16 district champs have already secured their spot, and 4 more teams await to see if they got in. Here's what the bracket looks like. The 1 through the 12 seed will get a first round bye in this tournament, while the 13 through 20 will play into that second round, all playing on the first round starting next Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So without wasting any more of your time, let's dive into the bracket, starting with the 16 and 17 matchup in the top left corner. The 16th seed and first team into this tournament is SUNY Niagara. For the 5th time in the last 7 years, the Thunderwolves return to the tournament after a 27-3 season. They were top 5 in Division II women's basketball in both turnovers forced and field goals made. SUNY Niagara is the 16th seed. They'll play the 17th seed in the opening round, Rock Valley. The Golden Eagles made it to the quarterfinals last year, and they are looking to make another deep run after 13 straight wins and a Region 4 championship. This is a team that puts up a ton of three-pointers, making 9 per game on average this season. Head coach Daryl Watkins is eyeing a championship for the first time at the D2 level since they made the jump from Division III. Winner of that matchup will get the number 1 overall seed, Kirkwood. For the first time since 2022, Kirkwood is the top seed. The Eagles come into this one as the defending national champions and look to be the first team to go back-to-back since Monroe CC did it in 2011 and 12. Jenna Tweed returns to lead this squad, and coach Kim Moole will try for his 10th national championship. Moving on, it is the 8 and 9 seeds, starting with the 8 seed, Highland. The Scotties are dancing for the 4th time in program history, navigating one of the toughest conferences in D2 women's basketball with a KJCCC championship. Sophomore forward Cameron McNamara is putting up 20 points a game and 8 rebounds. Absurd stuff as she looks to lead Highland to their top finish since they finished 3rd place in 2018. The 9 seed is our first at-large bid, Mesa. They make it in after falling just short in the Region 1 final by 5 points to Pima. The 2014 national champion played the second hardest schedule according to the Massey rankings, including 15 games against ranked Division I or Division II teams. The number 5 team in Division II in points per game allowed only saw opponents score 49 points on average, and they hope that defense carries them on a run in Joplin. On to the next set of matchups, the 13 and the 20 in the opening round. It is Schoolcraft. The Ocelots are in for the 5th time in team history and the first time since 2015. Schoolcraft tallied 28 wins this year in a Great Lakes District B championship over Lansing, powered by sophomore leading scorer Sharon Smith. They've had some dominant scoring performances and a couple of ranked wins. Excited to see Schoolcraft as the 13 seed. The 20 seed is North Platte. Another team making their first appearance in a while. North Platte hasn't been dancing in 4 years, but it's time to dust off those shoes. An unbelievable district championship game saw the Knights trailing by 18 at the end of the first quarter, but NPCC rallied all the way back and flipped the script, winning by 14. Winner of that matchup gets the 4 seed. It's Johnson County. As expected, Johnson County gets in as a top 4 seed, but a lot of people didn't expect them to fall that far after a 30-0 start to the season ended with a Region 6 semifinals loss to Highland. The Cavs have a ton of talented freshmen, including their leading scorer, Layla Scott, who is averaging 16 in 31 games played. Beneath that matchup, it's the 5 and 12. The 5 seed is Union. I'm not sure if you'll ever see a ticket punched as emphatically as the 5 seed. Union defeated Monroe 115-53 to reach the tournament for the 7th time in the last 8 years. The Owls were 2019 runner-ups and are still chasing their first title, but could this be the first year under former player and current head coach Marberly Montas? We'll find out. It's time for our 3rd at-large team. The 12 seed in this tournament is Illinois Central. The third most tournament appearances in the history of this national championship, the Cougars make their return for the first time since 2022, following a 25-7 season. They were upset by 3-seeded Lakeland in the Region 24 semifinal, but still get their chance in Joplin, sporting one of the best shooting teams in the country, averaging 46.5 from the field as a team. On to the 15 and 18 matchup. The 15 seed is St. Clair County. The talented Great Lakes teams making appearances in this tournament continues as St. Clair County clinched their spot with a district title. It's the first time with a tournament berth for the Skippers since 2016 when they were the 11 seed. Look out for Bree Jefferson, the freshman guard, putting in 22.3 points a game. They'll play the 18 seed College of Lake County. The Lancers are a first-timer. Head coach Tanner Morris, in just his third year, has led his squad to Joplin with a 28-5 season and a takedown of Kankakee in the region championship. CLC is a dynamic rebounding team, shooting 75.3% from the line and averages more than 9 threes a game, and they could be a potential Cinderella in this tournament. On to the 2 seed, it is CCBC Essex. After a top 4 finish in each of the last 4 seasons, the Knights are looking to return to the glory of their 2023 national championship. The lone loss from Essex this year came against Union, but other than that, they have been perfect, as Gigi Gamble poured in 22 points per game. Look out for CCBC Essex as the 2 seed. Time for our final at-large bid. The last selected team getting into this tournament is Lakeland. The Lakers returned to Joplin for the second straight season, but after being the 15 seed last year, they jumped to the 7 with this campaign. The 2021 national champs lost 2 of their last 10 games, but both against a stout Lincolnland team that will be mentioned later. Longtime head coach David Johnson will look for his second national title in 2025. The number 10 seed is Mid-Michigan. It's a Lakers versus Lakers matchup in the top right corner of the bracket, as Mid-Michigan makes its third tournament appearance in program history. This high-powered offense scores 92.4 points per game behind the talented sophomore duo of Chloe Watson and Rachel Rezio. This will be a fun 7 versus 10 matchup. On to the final quadrant in this championship, the 14 and 19 matchup, starting with a 14 seed Bryant and Stratton, Virginia. Bobcats go back-to-back and take the conference crown for the second straight year. BSC Virginia won their last 17 games, including a couple of blowouts and a 7-point win en route to a Region 10 title. This squad knows how to share the rock, leading NJCAA Division II in assists per game with 22. They'll get the 19 seed Chattahoochee Valley. Way down yonder, the Pirates of Chattahoochee Valley put together a historic season, making the D2 National Tournament for the first time in 30 years. Former Northwest Florida assistant Joe Richardson has turned this program around from a 16-win season last year to 22-6 this year and a tournament berth. Congratulations to Chattahoochee Valley. The winner of that one gets the 3 seed, Lincolnland. For the third time in second straight year, the Loggers are going dancing. What a phenomenal district championship it was for Lincolnland, who rallied back from down 9 in the second half to take a 54-57 win over Lakeland. This is a dangerous team that can clean up the offensive glass, tallying a Division II leading 7 offensive boards a game. On to the final matchup in this tournament. Starting with the 6th seed, it is Pima. For the third straight season and for the 5th time in the last 6 years, the Pima Aztecs are dancing. Todd Holthouse has a deep squad this year, getting the best tournament seed they've had since 2019, winning their last 9 games and a Region 1 championship. They'll get the 11 seed. The final team in the tournament is North Central Missouri. The Pirates are making the 4-hour drive to Joplin after a red-hot finish, winning their last 13 contests. A dominant region championship run, which included a 92-point victory over St. Louis CC, concluded with a handed victory over National Park to win the Central Plains District. Make it 4 years straight that NCMC is in the tournament, and this year they are primed to make a run. Let's take a look at the full bracket. Kirkwood is the number 1 overall seed, the 2 seed CCB Essex, then Lincolnland the 3, and Johnson County the 4. 16-17 matchup of SUNY Niagara and Rock Valley, Highland and Mesa the 8 and 9. And And then Schoolcraft in the bottom left taking on North Platte. Beneath them is Union College and Illinois Central. And on the opposite side, it is St. Clair County taking on College of Lake County, and Lakeland College against Mid-Michigan College. Then Bryan and Stratton, Virginia, Chattahoochee Valley, the 14-19 matchup, and Pima and North Central Missouri. Again, those matchups from March 17th to the 22nd. Do not go anywhere. When we come back from this quick commercial break, we interview the head coach of the #1 seed Kirkwood. It is the legendary Kim Moole, talking about this opportunity for the Eagles and what's to come for Kirkwood as the #1 seed. Stay with us. We're back in a moment.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Back in for our NJCAA Division II Women's Basketball Selection Show. We've got a legend joining us, Kirkwood head coach Kim Moole. Congratulations on getting the #1 seed this year. #1 seed for the first time since 2022. An undefeated regular season for the first time since that legendary 16-17 campaign. So what has made this team so different this year?
Everybody asks that question. I think our wings are really good. The chemistry is really good on this group. Nobody seems to care if they score or not. They just want to win. So I think that's been a big part of it. They bought in early too. So that was a big thing.
Yeah, buy-in early, I'm sure, comes with a lot of experience from the sophomores returning. One of them, obviously, Jenna Tweet, who has been phenomenal this year. How has she improved from year 1 to year 2 in your program?
I would say her confidence level, her daily approach is like she knows she's a good player, and she doesn't feel like she has to prove it. She's one of those kids that just constantly, she does everything at pace. So she just got better, and she does her own thing, and she works out all the time. So she's a good player. I think she's better than last year. And she's just a good teammate also.
And it's really the defense that has got it done all year long, holding to opponents to 28% from the field. That's second best in Division II. What's been the key to the girls' defense this year?
They fly around, and they fly around a lot, and they're really good at helping recovering. You know, that's the whole thing. They'll help really well, but they recover back to their own. And then when they have to scramble out, they do a pretty good job of getting to that next pass.
Yeah, and then heading into the tournament this year, going to be very fun, a very talented field. What excites you most about this year's tournament?
Well, looking at it, it's going to be pretty crazy, I think. There's a lot of teams that could win the whole thing, I think. It's a lot of parity right now. And with a couple of teams getting upset, now you're going to have the large bids are going to be really different too. So I'm just glad we have an opportunity to see if we can come back and win another one. So this group we'll be ready, but there's a lot of things got to happen positive to win it.
Well, that's all I had for you. Anything else that you wanted to add before we wrap up this segment on the selection show?
No, I just think it's going to be a wild week of basketball.
And we're looking forward to it. Chance for you to get national championship number 10. But thanks for joining us, Coach, and appreciate you talking with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, that wraps up our segment, our interview with the #1 seed of Kirkwood women's basketball. Stay with us, though. When we come back, we'll talk with the committee chair and then show you one final look at the tournament bracket before we wrap up here on the NJCAA Network. Welcome back into our NJCAA Division II Women's Basketball Selection Show. Joining us now is the D2 Women's Basketball Committee Chair, Tony Tompkins. Tony, thanks for hopping on with us.
Thanks for having me.
First things first, I wanted to let you talk about a little bit the process that goes into seeding the entire tournament and how obviously you as the AD at Johnson County are outside of the at-large conversation with JCCC being in that at-large conversation. So what goes into that seeding process and how does it work with you as the committee chair?
I think first and foremost, just the committee, they do a really good job looking at the bracket and then even at the at-larges. We put a lot of work into like the weekly poll, and I feel like that gives us a good gauge of where to go off of for at-larges and also seeding. So looking at it, I mean, I might have disagreed with maybe one or two, in terms of placement, but overall, it's very close to what we've had all year long. So consistency I think has been pretty key, and I think it's, like I said, looking at the bracket, I feel like it's pretty strong. So.
Yeah, to that point, there's a ton of parity this year with a lot of possible teams that could go on a run and win this thing. So what were the biggest area of discussions for this group in terms of the seeding this year?
It has to do with strength of schedule, and I think strength of league as well. Region 6, I think we had 2, could have had an opportunity to get 3, just like Region 24 has. But it's just, I think strength of schedule, strength of your league definitely comes into play on that. And people getting out and playing different people as well.
Oh, last thing I had for you, just what are the biggest things that excite you about this tournament back in Joplin, Missouri? And as I mentioned, a lot of talent up and down throughout all 20 teams that are advancing. So what excites you most about this tournament coming up?
Hopefully, Joplin did a really good job. I'm going to see what they bring to the table this year, just improvements. I feel like the second year around, usually the host does a good job of bringing new things for the athletes. And overall, really, it's just the strength of the field. The at-larges have really helped the strength of the tournament. And I think you've said this previously, just, there are a lot of teams in there that can get upset. And I think there's a lot of teams in there, multiple teams that could win this whole thing. So obviously Kirkwood is a favorite, but overall there's some really, really strong teams in here. So looking forward to seeing them compete.
Well, that's all I had for you. Thanks for joining us today and excited to see what plays out in about a week.
All right, sounds good. And I love the stash, by the way. I got to put that in there.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Stay with us though. We got a commercial break coming up, and when we come back, we'll take one final look at the bracket. So stay with us on the NJCAA Network.
Credit Union One, the official banking partner of the National Junior College Athletic Association, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 90,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back into the NJCAA Network. Let's take one final look at this bracket before we sign off. Again, you can see Kirkwood, the number 1 seed, the 2 seed CCBC Essex, 3 seed Lincoln Land CC, and 4 seed Johnson County, all waiting to see who they'll play in the first round. Already with the first round byes, Highland CC and Mesa, the 8 and 9, 5 and 12 of Union College and Illinois Central, and Lakeland College and Midland College, and Pima CC and North Central Missouri, all already through towards that second round. Playing in is SUNY Niagara and Rock Valley, Schoolcraft and North Platte, St. Clair County and College of Lake County, and Bryan and Stratton, Virginia, and Chattahoochee Valley from March 17th to the 22nd in Joplin, Missouri. You're not going to want to miss it. Tons of talent all over this field, and all those games are available on the NJCAA Network. So that wraps up our selection show. Congratulations to all 20 teams that made it in, the 16 district champs, and the 4 at-large bids that found out their fate this afternoon. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm Zach McKinstry, and can't wait to see you a week from today in Joplin, Missouri.